Hello everyone, welcome to Unacademy's YouTube channel. Let me check the stream is coming up in YouTube or not. There was a problem earlier with the stream code. The stream was not coming up. Okay, let me check if the stream is coming in YouTube or not. After that, we will start the class right away. Okay. Okay, everyone, thank God the stream has come up. Okay, the stream has come up. Now let's jump into the class right away. Let's jump into this class straight away. Now, in today's class, we are going to discuss. In today's class, we are going to discuss Parliament. We are going to discuss everything about Parliament. Now, this is the second part of our ongoing series on Parliament. Okay. Now, before going on to the class itself, let me give you a brief introduction about myself as well as about Unacademy. See, my name is Aravind. I've completed my BE Mechanical Engineering in 2014 and have almost 3 years of experience in teaching UPSC Civil Services, and have experienced all stages of UPSC Civil Services, that is prelims, mains and then interview. Now my specialization subjects include polity, international relations and then current affairs. Now if you wish to know more about the schedule of my classes, when I am about to take my classes, or if you want to ask doubts regarding my classes, please join this Telegram group Unacademy_Aravind. Here I will regularly update the schedule of my classes, and you can update yourself regarding my schedule. Now, what will you get by subscribing to Unacademy? Now, by subscribing to Unacademy, you will get access to daily live classes where you get to watch classes. You can rewatch those classes, and then if you have any doubts, you can ask those doubts if you like. Now, this rewatchability feature is very, very important because normally, if you are a student, you will crave to revisit your old classes. Okay, normally you will crave to revisit your old classes because that's natural. You may have some things to revisit regarding your old classes, or if you might have some doubts regarding your old classes, or you might have fallen asleep in your old class. So naturally, people will tend to rewatch their old classes. But with offline institutions and other institutions, this feature will not be available. But with Unacademy, you can rewatch your old classes. And then Unacademy conducts live tests as well as quizzes almost on a daily basis. Now this is very, very important because when it comes to UPSC, as you all might have known, 50% is about preparation and then 50% is about practice. So 50% you will study, that part is studying. Now the rest 50% part is about practice. So practice is as much as important as preparation. Now that practice part will come by attending live tests as well as quizzes almost on a daily basis conducted by Unacademy. Unacademy offers structured courses so that all the courses offered by Unacademy are structured in line with the examination syllabus to help students get themselves prepared for it. Not only that, if a course is very structured, the learning process also will become much easier for the students. And then in Unacademy, you will get unlimited access to videos concerned with the examination that you are subscribing for. Okay. For example, if you are subscribing for UPSC examination, you will get unlimited access to videos concerned with UPSC examination. And also, Unacademy serves as a platform where top educators like Aman Sharma, Deepanshu Singh, Ashish Malik, all these top educators, they get to share their knowledge with students who hail from all over India. This is another advantage of Unacademy, where it is serving as a platform for this exchange of information between these two individuals. Also, Unacademy covers syllabus in a very comprehensive manner so that every nook and corner of UPSC syllabus will be covered by Unacademy. Not only that, the same syllabus will be covered by multiple faculties. For example, I am teaching polity in this YouTube channel. The same polity subject will be taught by multiple faculties in Unacademy. So if you're not satisfied with one faculty, you can immediately switch over to another faculty. So Unacademy is trying to democratize the learning process itself by giving you the choice of where you want to learn from, at what place you want to learn from. It is very, very important because a lot of people, when they are preparing for UPSC, they will be moving to a bigger city and they will change their life course itself. But with Unacademy, it is not needed because as long as you are having an internet connection and a reliable smartphone or tablet, you can prepare for UPSC. And then you can also choose at what time you want to study for UPSC. And then you can also choose from whom you want to learn from between various Unacademy educators. Okay, so Unacademy, by giving you these choices, is trying to democratize the entire learning process itself. Now, guys, I suggest you download this Unacademy learning app so that you get to you get to schedule yourself based on your educator's timetable, and then if your favorite educator is about to take a class in Unacademy, you will get notification via Unacademy learning app. And if you're using Unacademy learning app, you can keep track of your learning goals, how much time you're spending with Unacademy. Okay, or if a quiz is about to be conducted in via Unacademy, those quizzes will be conducted via Unacademy learning app. Okay, so please download this Unacademy learning app so that you can better prepare for any competitive examination via Unacademy. Now these are the amounts charged by Unacademy for plus subscription. Now these amounts are very less compared to other offline institutions where you will be spending upwards of 4 to 5 lakh rupees on things like fees, food and rent. But with Unacademy you won't be spending a dime on fees. Sorry, not you won't be spending a dime on either food or rent because you will be learning from your home itself. But with fees itself, the cost of fee for Unacademy itself is very less compared to other institutions. Okay. Now, on top of very paltry sum that Unacademy is charging you, if you're using my code Aravind V, you will get 10% as offer. So instead of paying 44,000 rupees for 1 year platform, you will be paying only 39,600 rupees. Okay, I suggest you either go for 1 year platform or 2 year platform because if you are preparing for any competitive examination, preparation for 1 to 2 years is very essential. Okay, so subscribing for either 1 year or 2 year platform makes a lot of educational sense, also as a financial sense, because if you are paying for either 12-month platform or 24-month platform, the cost that you will be paying for each month will be drastically reduced rather than paying for 1 month. Okay, so I suggest you guys either go for 1 year platform or 2 year platform. Now, even under Iconic platform, where you will be provided with a personal coach. Now, this personal coach is some of the most experienced faculty in UPSC platform, and some have cleared even UPSC itself. So they know all about how to clear UPSC. So based on their know-how, they will guide you through the process of preparing for UPSC. And then Unacademy also gives daily mains question and answer practice. As I mentioned before, in UPSC preparation, 50% is about preparation and 50% is about practice. So this practice for mains will also be given via Iconic platform. Unacademy also gives you with a study planner based on your preferences, and then Unacademy gives you personalized feedback based on your performances in Unacademy tests. Now even here, if you are using my code Aravind V, you will get 10% as offer. So instead of paying 64,000 rupees for 1 year platform, you will be paying only 57,600 rupees. So guys, please don't forget to use my code Aravind V in case you are planning to subscribe for Unacademy platform. So that's it, everyone. That's introduction and promotion done away with. Let's move on to today's class. Give me a moment here. Okay, so so let's move on to today's class. Here. In today's class, we are going to look at previous class. Okay, in previous class, what did we learn? In previous class, what did we learn? Okay, we learned about the introduction to Parliament. What is Parliament? We studied what is Parliament. Now, after studying Parliament, what did we study? Parliament is a body which consists of 3 organs. One is President, another one is Rajya Sabha, another one is Lok Sabha. So we studied that Parliament is a body which consists of 3 organs: President, Rajya Sabha, and then Lok Sabha. In our last class, we studied president. What are the legislative functions performed by president in parliamentary setup? And then we also studied the structure of. Rajya Sabha, how Rajya Sabha is established, what is the composition of Rajya Sabha, how members to Rajya Sabha are being elected, all these things we studied in our previous class. Now in today's class, we will study the structure of Lok Sabha. Now after studying structure in today's class, in the third class we will study what are the functions of both Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. We will study what are the functions of both Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. Okay. Now moving on. Okay. Today we are going to study Lok Sabha. Okay. See, what is Lok Sabha? What is this Lok Sabha? See, Lok Sabha is a body. It is importantly not just a body. It is a representative body. Of central government. Okay, it is a representative body of central government. Lok Sabha is a representative body of central government. Now, what is the meaning of representative body of central government? What is the meaning of this? One, Lok Sabha is a body consisting of members who are elected by the people. Okay, Lok Sabha is a body which consists of members who are elected by the people. That's the first point. And then what is the meaning of the second word, central government? The meaning of representative bodies, the members are elected by the people, that we have established. Now what is the meaning of representative body of central government? Lok Sabha represents central government in parliament. Okay, Lok Sabha represents central government in parliament. Whereas in case of Rajya Sabha, what does Rajya Sabha represent? Rajya Sabha represents state government in parliament. Okay, so that is Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha, it is a representative body of central government. Since it is a representative body of central government, all the members in Lok Sabha, not all the members, most of the members in Lok Sabha are elected by the people, since it is a representative body. And then Lok Sabha is the voice of central government in parliament. Okay. Now next, obviously we have discussed the introduction. Now next we have to discuss what is the composition of Lok Sabha. Next we have to discuss what is the composition of Lok Sabha. What is the composition of Lok Sabha? We have to discuss what is the composition of Lok Sabha. See here everyone, as I mentioned in the Rajya Sabha class itself, Constitution does not prescribe the exact strength for Lok Sabha. Constitution does not prescribe the exact strength for Lok Sabha. Constitution, instead of prescribing the exact strength, what Constitution does is that Constitution will prescribe the maximum strength. Constitution will prescribe the maximum strength of Lok Sabha. Similar to Rajya Sabha, where Constitution merely mentions what is the maximum strength of Rajya Sabha, Constitution only prescribes the maximum strength of Lok Sabha. Okay. Now, what is the maximum strength of Lok Sabha according to Constitution? The maximum strength of Lok Sabha according to Constitution is 552. Okay. So the maximum strength of Lok Sabha according to Constitution is 552. Now, out of this 552 seats, 550 members are elected. 550 members are elected. Okay, and then we have not more than 2 nominated members. Okay, so the maximum strength of Lok Sabha according to Indian Constitution is 552. So out of this 552, we will have not more than 550 members as elected members and not more than 2 members as nominated members. Now, similar to Rajya Sabha, who can nominate these nominated members? Who will nominate? Which is authority who can nominate these nominated members? President. Okay, President is the authority who can nominate these nominated members. Okay, so now this is a very important power. Okay, it is a very important power that is given to President. It is a real power. Since it is a real power that is given to President of India, President will nominate these members on the aid and advice given by Prime Ministers plus Council of Ministers. President will nominate these members on the aid and advice provided by Prime Ministers plus Council of Ministers. Okay, this is very, very important. Okay, Constitution, it does not prescribe the exact strength similar to Rajya Sabha. It merely prescribes what is the maximum strength of Lok Sabha. Now, out of this maximum strength of 552, not more than 550 members are elected, and not more than 2 members are nominated. Now, these nominated members are nominated by Prime Minister plus Council of Ministers. Now, who are these nominated members? Who can be these nominated members? One, these nominated members should be from Anglo-Indian community. These nominated members should be from Anglo-Indian. These nominated members should be from Anglo-Indian community. If President thinks, if President thinks they are underrepresented. Okay, if President thinks the Anglo-Indians are underrepresented in the Parliament, President can nominate 2 Anglo-Indian members to Parliament. Now, why Anglo-Indian members? Why Anglo-Indian members? Many of you will assume that since they are a minority, Anglo-Indian members are given this preferential treatment. But there are, apart from Anglo-Indians, there are number of minorities present in India, right? There are different types of minorities present in India, right? Why not give this power to those minorities also? Why not nominate members from those communities also? What is the reason why we are giving this special preferential treatment to Anglo-Indians? The reason why we have given this specialist treatment for Anglo-Indians in Parliament is because, one, Anglo-Indians cannot win elections. Anglo-Indians cannot win elections. Anglo-Indians cannot win the elections. Why Anglo-Indians cannot win the elections? One, their reason is being, one, they are very scattered. Okay, if you look at some minorities, if you look at most of the minorities, even though they are minorities, even though their number is very, very less, in some places they will have majority. In some places they will have majority. So in some places they will have their representatives elected even in Panchayat level or state level. But if you look at Anglo-Indians, even though they are minority, they are scattered throughout the country. They are scattered throughout the country. Now, since they are minority in every constituency in the Indian country, there is a reason. That's the reason why Anglo-Indians are getting nominated if President feels they are underrepresented. Okay, when you understand why this special preferential treatment is given only to Anglo-Indian community, one, Anglo-Indians, if they are standing in elections, they cannot win the election because of ethnic reasons, all those things. Another one is that Anglo-Indians are very scattered throughout the country. So in no constituency they have a majority to win an election on their own. Okay, so that's why President will nominate 2 Anglo-Indian members. Now, if you look at these 550 members that are elected, out of these 550 members, 530, maximum of 530 will come from state. Okay, maximum of 530 members will come from state, and a maximum of 20 members will come from union territories. Maximum of 20 members will come from union territories. So maximum of 20 members will come from union territories. Okay. Now, apart from prescribing maximum strength, Constitution has empowered. Constitution similar to Rajya Sabha. Constitution has empowered Parliament. Constitution has empowered Parliament to regulate the maximum number, to regulate the number of elected members. Okay, so apart from prescribing maximum strength, Constitution has prescribed that Parliament is empowered to regulate the number of elected members. So based on this power, Parliament has enacted Representation of People Act 1951. Okay. So according to this Representation of People Act 1951, the sanction strength. Right now, the sanction strength in Lok Sabha is 530 from states, 530 seats from states, 13 from union territories, 13 from union territories, and 2 nominated members. Okay. So right now, as of now, the sanctioned strength of Lok Sabha is 530 seats from states, 13 from union territories, and then 2 from nominated members. Now, as you can see here, the maximum strength is already been prescribed from both states as well as nominated members. Now, only for seats regarding union territories have been reduced. Now, why is that? Now, why is that? Why is that? For only union territories, the maximum number has been reduced, not for states as well as nominated members. Why is that? Can anyone tell me in the chat section? Give me a moment. Now see here the reason why union territories number have been reduced from 20 to 30 is 13 is because we are keeping seven reserve seats for any territory that are getting acquired by India. Okay, if we are reserving these 7 seats for any territory that is getting acquired by India. Okay, for example, just like Sikkim which was acquired by India, if India were to acquire Bhutan, we have to allocate some parliamentary seats to Bhutan, right? Now, if we have prescribed maximum number already, how can you allocate some Lok Sabha seats to Bhutan? We cannot allocate, right? So that's why we are keeping some 7 reserve seats so that we can allocate these seats to future parliamentary constituencies which can be acquired by India. Okay. Did you understand, everyone? Did you understand? Did you understand this part? Do you understand this part? Okay, I will give you 1 minute to ask your doubts. Okay, I will give you 1 minute to ask your doubts. After that, I am moving on to the next part. Okay, now give me a moment here. I will fetch some water and come. Okay. So far no one has asked any doubt. So I've assumed that you guys have understood everything. Okay. Now I'm moving on to the next part. Okay, I'm moving on to the next part. Now, as we have discussed in the structure outline itself, after composition we will discuss the qualification. We will discuss the qualification of Lok Sabha members. We will discuss the qualification of Lok Sabha members. Now, the qualification of Lok Sabha members according to Constitution. Okay, the qualification is prescribed both by Constitution. The qualification for Lok Sabha members is prescribed both by Constitution as well as Representation of People Act 1951. So, according to Constitution, what is the qualification required to become Lok Sabha member? 1. He should be a citizen of India. He should be a citizen of India. And then the next one is he should have completed 25 years of age. He should have completed 25 years of age. Now, according to RPA Act of 1951, there is an additional qualification prescribed for Lok Sabha member. Okay, according to this, a candidate should be qualified. He should be qualified. Yeah. electorate. It should be a qualified electorate in any parliamentary constituency. In any parliamentary constituency. Okay. Now, why is this very important? Why is this very important? See, why is this? Why a person can from Jammu and Kashmir can contest elections in Kerala? Why is this provision there? Why is this provision there? Ideally, persons who are coming from Kerala, they should stand in those elections and they should become representatives of Kerala people. Now, do you think a person coming from Jammu and Kashmir, they know about the aspirations and the demands of Kerala people? Do you think if he knows that? He doesn't know that, right? He cannot do his job properly, right? But still, why we are persisting that a person from any parliamentary constituency in India can stand in Lok Sabha elections of any state? Why are we persisting with that? Reason being, India follows single citizenship model. Okay, India follows single citizenship model. Give me a moment here. Now, the reason being, India follows single citizenship model. Now, according to single citizenship, what is the meaning here? What is the meaning of single citizenship? Okay, there is no. India follows single citizenship. Now, the reason why in single citizenship any person from any state can contest in any Lok Sabha state is because India guarantees, based on the single citizenship, India guarantees freedom of movement. India guarantees freedom of movement, trade, and then in Article 326 itself, we guarantee universal adult franchise. We guarantee universal adult franchise. Now, what is this universal adult franchise? A person can become elector in any state. Okay, if an Indian citizen can become elector in any state, doesn't matter if he is if he is born in Tamil Nadu or Kerala, he can become an elector in any state. So, based on these principles, any member from any constituency can stand in any constituency. Now, based on this principle only, Narendra Modi in 2014 election, he stands both in Gujarat as well as Varanasi. Recently, Rahul Gandhi also stood in Amneti as well as Wayanad. Okay. Now, obviously, what happens if Narendra Modi wins in both Gujarat constituency as well as Varanasi constituency? In case if he is elected from both the constituency, he has to vacate the office from one constituency within 6 months. So that's a criteria there. Okay. So these are the qualifications. These are the qualifications. These are the qualifications. Okay. Now next we will discuss the election procedure. Next we will discuss the election procedure for Lok Sabha. Next we will discuss the election procedure for Lok Sabha. Now, if you look at the election procedure for Lok Sabha, election for Lok Sabha is conducted by Election Commission of India. Election for Lok Sabha is conducted by Election Commission of India. This is very, very important. Now, apart from that, the guidelines, okay, the guidelines and rules, the guidelines and rules for conducting Lok Sabha elections is given in Constitution. It is given in Constitution. Okay, it is guidelines for as well as rules that govern the election of Lok Sabha. It is given in Constitution. Now, obviously, Constitution cannot contain every other provision, right? So, if there are any gaps in the Constitution, if there are any gaps in the provisions of the Constitution, those gaps will be supplemented by parliamentary law. Those gaps will be supplemented by parliamentary law. Okay. Now, based on this provision, we have passed number of acts like RPA, Representation of People Act of 1951, Delimitation Act of 1951, 61, 71, etc., etc. Okay. Okay, everyone. So, guidelines and rules for conducting Lok Sabha election, it is given both in Constitution. Now, Constitution obviously will have some gaps in its rules. Those gaps are supplemented by parliamentary law. Now, if you look at constitutional provisions, the constitutional provisions for Lok Sabha elections is given in Article 326. Okay, it is given in Article 326. Next one is the procedure. The procedure for conducting Lok Sabha election is given in two articles. One is Article 81 and then Article 82. Okay, the procedure for conducting Lok Sabha election is given in Article 81 as well as Article 82. Now we will discuss this. What are the provisions of Article 81 and 82 later on. Now, if you look at Article 326, if you look at the provisions of Article 326, Article 326 prescribes universal adult franchise for all the elections in India, not all the elections, for parliamentary as well as state legislative assembly elections. It prescribes universal adult franchise. Okay. Now, according to this universal adult franchise, what are the provisions mentioned in Article 326? One, if a person is citizen of India, okay, according to universal adult franchise, if a person can be an elector if he is a citizen of India, if he is completed 18 plus if he is 18 plus years of age, and then if he is not disqualified, based on parliamentary law, okay, so this is very important. Okay, the provisions of universal adult franchise says that if a person can be set as an elector to elections to India if he is a citizen of India, if he is 18 plus years of age and is not disqualified based on parliamentary law. Now, can anyone tell me what are some parliamentary laws which disqualifies certain members? Example, convicts in prisons cannot vote in any elections based on Representation of People Act 1951. Okay, so this is one parliamentary law which disqualifies members from being electors. Okay. Now, if you look at so far we have discussed Article 326. Now, next we will discuss Article 81 as well as Article 82. Okay. Now, in Lok Sabha elections, what will happen? Okay. 543 constituencies, they will elect their members and send those representatives to Lok Sabha. Okay, for these 543 constituencies, they will elect their representatives and they will send these representatives to Lok Sabha. So, in Lok Sabha elections, there are around 545 electoral colleges. Not 545, 543 electoral colleges. There are around 543 electoral colleges. Okay, so if you look at electoral colleges of various elections, there are in president's elections, how many electoral colleges there? One electoral college. In vice president election also, how many electoral colleges? One electoral college. In Lok Sabha elections, how many electoral colleges? 543 electoral colleges. Now, this is the tricky part. How many electoral colleges in Rajya Sabha elections? In Rajya Sabha elections, how many electoral colleges are there? 29 plus 2. 29 states plus 2 union territories. Okay, so these are the number of electoral colleges for various elections in India. Okay, now give me a moment here. So I believe this part is very clear for you. Right? Let's move to the next part. Okay. So far we have discussed Article 326. Now let's discuss the procedure prescribed both in Article 81 as well as Article 82. Let's discuss the procedure. Okay. See here, everyone. According to Article 81. This principle should be followed throughout India. Now, what is this principle? That is number of seats. Number of seats is to population of a state. Should be same. Should be more or less same throughout the country. Okay, the number of seats to a state, in proportion to the population of the state should be same throughout the country. Okay, this is the first principle. Okay, the number of seats in in proportion to the population of the particular state should be throughout the country. What is the meaning of that? See, there are around 100 seats for Lok Sabha. Assume there are around 100 Lok Sabha seats. Now, in India, there are 4 states. In India, there are 4 states: A, B, C, D. Okay. Now, in A, we have 1000 members, 1000 electors. In A, we have 1000 electors. In B, we have 2000 electors. In C, we have 3000 electors. In D, we have 4000 electors. Now, out of these 100 Lok Sabha seats, how many will be given to A? How many will be given to A? Okay, how much proportion A? What is the proportion of A's population when it comes to compared to total India population? How much is it? It is just 1%. So, out of 100 Lok Sabha seats, 10 Lok Sabha seats will be given to A. So, out of 100 Lok Sabha seats, 20 will be given to B. So, out of 100 Lok Sabha seats, 30 will be given to C, and out of 100 Lok Sabha seats, 40 will be given to D. Okay, so that's what we are meaning by this principle. The number of seats to a particular state in proportion to the population of the state should be should be same throughout the territory of the country. Okay, so the meaning of that is that if Uttar Pradesh has for example 20 crore population and Kerala has around 5 crore population, Uttar Pradesh we should have 4 times as much Lok Sabha seats. Uttar Pradesh should have 4 times as much as Kerala when it comes to Lok Sabha seats. So that's a principle mentioned here. Now the next one is this is the first principle. Okay, there is a next principle. Now according to this next principle, number of seats with respect to population of a region. Number of seats with respect to population of the region should be same throughout the state. Okay, number of seats with respect to population of the region should be same throughout the state. Now, can anyone tell me what is the difference between these two principles? Can anyone tell me what is the difference between these two principles? Can anyone tell me what is the difference between these two principles? See here, everyone. This is India. This is India. Now, please excuse me for drawing. Okay. If this is India, now this is Tamil Nadu. For Tamil Nadu, we have given 39 seats. Okay, based on first principle, we have given 39 seats to Tamil Nadu. We have given 80 seats to Uttar Pradesh. Now this is first principle. Okay, seats should be allocated to states based on their population. Okay. Now, according to second principle, within Tamil Nadu, we have to divide these 39 seats, right? So according to second principle, when we are dividing these electoral constituencies, the population of all these constituencies should be the same. Okay, the population of all these 39 constituencies should be the same according to second principle. Okay, can you understand? The first principle is all about assigning number of seats to individual states. The second principle is all about making sure that all electoral constituencies in a particular state will have same population. Okay, for example, Chennai, it's a very small area. Now in Chennai we have around 3 electoral based on population. Chennai we have 3 electoral constituencies. But if you look at a district called as Coimbatore only has one. It has only one Lok Sabha seat. Why? Because even though Coimbatore geographically is larger than Chennai, Coimbatore only has one Lok Sabha seat, but entirety of Chennai has 3 Lok Sabha seats. Why? Because electoral constituencies in India are divided based on population, not based on area. Okay. Now, who will draw these electoral boundaries? Which authority will draw these electoral boundaries? Now these electoral boundaries will be. Now this principle, this principle is called as act of drawing constituencies. This principle is called as act of drawing constituencies. This principle is called as act of drawing constituencies. Now this drawing of constituencies will be done by a commission called as Delimitation Commission. Okay, it is done by a commission called as Delimitation Commission. Okay, this act of drawing of constituencies will be done by an authority called as Delimitation Commission. Okay, so that's what we will discuss in Article 82. Okay, so far we have discussed the procedure established in Article 81. In Article 81, as I mentioned before, there are two principles. One is the number of seats in a state versus population of that state should be same throughout the country, and the number of seats in proportion to the population of the region should be same throughout the state. Okay, now this second principle is called as act of drawing Lok Sabha constituencies. Now these Lok Sabha constituencies will be done by a commission called as Delimitation Commission. Okay, so this is what we will discuss in Article 81. Okay. Now, apart from these two principles, apart from these two principles, Article 81 also prescribes. The distribution of. Article 81 also prescribes the distribution of seats and also delimitation of constituencies. Okay. So in theory, what is Article 81 doing? First, it prescribes the distribution of seats. It is prescribing principles based on which the seats can be distributed. That is prescribed in the Article 81 itself. The next one is delimitation of constituencies. So these two principles are given in Article 81. Okay. Now, if you look at Article 82, what does Article 82 say? Article 82 says that all this redistribution will be readjusted. The distribution will be readjusted after every census. Okay, the redistribution will be, so the distribution of seats will be readjusted after every census. Okay, the distribution of seats will be readjusted after every census. Why is this very important? Because the population will be increasing or decreasing every 10 years, right? So the distribution of seats should accommodate this increase as well as decrease in population. Okay, so that's why Constitution has prescribed that according to Article 82, the readjustment of distribution of seats will be done after every census. So in a way, this redistribution will be done every 10 years because census will be carried out in 2011, 2001. Okay, so this redistribution will be done after those each individual censuses. Okay. Now this readjustment will be done for one, distribution of seats itself. This readjustment will be done for distribution of seats itself for state. Distribution of seats for state itself will be readjusted. After that, delimitation will also be changed. Delimitation of constituencies. Delimitation of constituencies will also be readjusted. Okay. Now, who can do this delimitation? Okay. Now, this distribution of seats, it can be done after every census. But who will delimitate these constituencies? Who can draw these electoral boundaries? So, this delimitation, this act of delimitation, will be done by such authority. This act of delimitation will be done by such authority determined by the Parliament. Okay, it will be done by such authority determined by the Parliament. Okay. Now, accordingly, using this provision, Parliament has passed Delimitation Act. Parliament has passed Delimitation Act in 1951, 1961. It continued till 2001, 2011. Okay, Parliament has passed this Delimitation Act in various years. Okay, now this Delimitation Commission Act, various Delimitation Commission Act, it will establish Delimitation Commission of India. Okay, it will establish an authority called as Delimitation Commission of India. So these various parliamentary acts, it will establish a body called as Delimitation Commission of India. So now since this body is appointed by, it is created by a law of Parliament, this Delimitation Commission of India is a statutory body. It is a statutory body, and then it is also a temporary body. It is also a temporary body. It is convened once every year. Once its job has been finished, it will be disbanded. Okay, it is convened every 10 years. Once it has done its job, it will be disbanded. Okay? And also the decisions. Okay, if the Delimitation Commission of Delimitation Commission of India is giving any order or any reports, these cannot be challenging any court. These cannot be challenging any court. Okay, this process of delimitation cannot be challenging any court of India. This is also very important. Okay. Now, importantly, now so far we've discussed the constitution provisions. Okay? Now, so far we've discussed the constitution provision. Now, see here, everyone. As I mentioned before, every 10 years, the distribution of seats for states will be readjusted, and also the delimitation of constituencies will also be readjusted. But this distribution of seats for states was frozen. This was frozen by 42nd Constitution Amendment Act. Okay, this distribution of states was frozen by 42nd Constitution Amendment Act. Now, why is this there? Why was this there? See, everyone, in India, as you all might have known, in India, population is increasing ever so greatly in the past few years. Now, what is the reason mainly for that? Because of India has a higher fertility rate of 2.3. India has total fertility rate of 2.3. Now, what is this total fertility rate? The amount required to perfectly replace the amount of people that are dying. If a total fertility rate of a country is 2.1, the amount of people dying will be perfectly equal to the amount of people who are getting birth in a particular country. Okay, if TFA is 2.1, it will be done like that. Okay. Now, as soon as India got independence, Jawaharlal Nehru, then Prime Minister, decided that if India were to become a meaningful power, India had to curtail its total fertility rate. Okay, India has to curtail its total fertility rate. So, based on this idea, in 1950s itself, we have launched National Family Planning Program. Okay, in 1950s itself, then Jawaharlal Nehru government launched National Family Planning Program. Now, this National Family Planning Program was implemented in various states. It was implemented in various states. Okay. Now, based on this implementation, some states have become very successful, and some states have become very not so successful. For example, states like Kerala, Tamil Nadu. If you look at the total fertility rate of Kerala, it is almost 1.7. In Tamil Nadu, it is 1.9. So, based on this total fertility rate, in future the population of Kerala as well as Tamil Nadu will go on decreasing. I am being clear. Based on this total fertility rate, the population in Kerala as well as Tamil Nadu will go on decreasing. But there are some states like Bihar, Uttar Pradesh. Here total fertility rate is almost 2.4. For Uttar Pradesh, it is almost 2.5. So some states have taken this National Family Planning Program seriously, but some states have neglected. Okay. Now, if this is the case, and if we are delimitating constituencies every census, what will happen? The number of states for Uttar Pradesh and Bihar will go on increasing, and the number of seats for Lok Sabha for Tamil Nadu will go on decreasing. Can you understand my point? If you are delimitating every 10 years based on population, the number of seats for Uttar Pradesh will go on increasing, and the number of seats in Lok Sabha for Tamil Nadu as well as Kerala will go on decreasing. Okay, so these states, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, these states are getting punished for implementing this National Family Planning Program. Okay, so to prevent that from happening, Indira Gandhi in 1971, by passing this 42nd Constitution Amendment Act, forced the distribution of seats for individual states. Okay, so right now we have a distribution of states seats, like for example, for Uttar Pradesh we have around 80 seats, for Tamil Nadu we have around 39 seats. Now this distribution of states from 1971, it is same. It is same. Why? Because we want to honor the agreement which was promised to states for implementing National Family Planning Program. Okay. So now, even though the amount of seats given to, even though the amount of seats that are given to individual states are getting frozen, even though the amount of seats that are getting, even though the number of seats that are given to individual states is frozen within the state itself. Okay. For example, this is Delhi. This is Delhi. In Delhi, there are 7 parliamentary constituencies. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 parliamentary constituencies. Now, according to second principle, what should we ensure? The population of these all 7 different constituencies should be same. The population of all these 7 constituencies must be same. That's what we have to ensure, right? Now, in 10 years' time, what will happen? Some people from one first constituency they will move to 2, and also from a second constituency they will move to 6. Okay, so there will be some readjustment of population that will happen between those constituencies itself. Okay, so some population in one constituency will increase and population in some constituencies will decrease. So we have to accommodate this. So we have to accommodate this change in population in various constituencies as well. So to accommodate these changes in population in various constituencies, we passed another Constitution Amendment Act called as 84th Constitution Amendment Act. Now, according to this 84th Constitution Amendment Act, what happened was that it tried to rationalize the territorial constituencies. In territorial constituencies based on 1991 census without changing the distribution of seats to states. Okay, so based on this 84th Constitution Amendment Act, okay, what did happen? This 84th Constitution Amendment Act, it gave powers to the Delimitation Commission of India to reorganize these territorial constituencies based on 1991 census data, and every year we will create this Delimitation Commission of India to reconstitute these territorial constituencies. Okay. Okay. Did you understand, everyone? Did you understand? Did you understand this principle? So far, did you understand everything? I will give you 2 minutes to ask your doubts, everyone. So far, if you have understood everything, please say so. After that, I will have to move on to the next part. I'll be moving on to the next part. Okay. After that, I will be moving on to the next part, everyone. Okay. Next is election method. So far, we have discussed election procedure. Next, we will discuss election method. Election method, it's important both from prelims as well as mains perspective. Okay? It is very important from both prelims as well as mains perspective. So please say so if you have any doubts so far. If you have any doubts, I will clarify it to you, or else I'll be moving on to the next part. Okay, see, in India, elections to Lok Sabha happen via elections to Lok Sabha are conducted by a election method called as single member constituency system or first first past the post system. Okay, so election to a Lok Sabha elections are conducted via single member constituency system or first past the vote system or first past the post system. And importantly, this election method is a secret ballot. It is a secret ballot. In India, apart from Rajya Sabha elections, where it is an open ballot, every other election is a secret ballot. Every other election is a secret ballot. So this election method for electing Lok Sabha members is done via first past the post system, and then this election is also done via secret ballot system. Now, we have said that election is conducted via first past the post system. Now, there are different election methods where you can elect members. There are different election methods which have been following throughout the world for electing members. Okay. Now, we will discuss these. We will discuss two broad types of election methods. We will discuss in this class. We will discuss these two broad types of election methods. Now, why are we discussing that? Because there have been increasing clamor from various quarters to move from first past the post system to another system of election called as proportional representation system. Okay, it is a mains question. It is a mains question. Why? Because many people in Indian circles are demanding for India to move away from first past the post system to proportional representation system. Okay. So in this class we will compare these two election methods. In this class we will compare these two election methods. Okay. If you look at elections, the first method is first past the post system or single member constituency system. Okay. The next method of election is proportional representation system. The next method of election is proportional representation system. Now, if you look at first past the post system, if you look at the first past post system, what will happen? What will happen in first past the post system? The first one is that only one member will be elected from a constituency. Okay, only one member will be elected from a constituency. For example, take the case of North Chennai. North Chennai is a Lok Sabha constituency. Okay, according to first past the post system, this North Chennai will elect only one member. It will elect only one member. But in case of proportional representation, what will happen? Instead of taking constituencies, the state of Tamil Nadu, if India is following proportional representation system, the state of Tamil Nadu will elect 39 members. Okay, so according to proportional representation system, this is the crucial difference. This is the first and foremost crucial difference. Proportional representation system can elect one or more members can be elected. Okay, one or more members can be elected via proportional representation system. Okay, this is important. This is very, very important. Now, if you look at first past the post system, if a candidate wants to win a particular election, he has to obtain relative majority. Now, what is the meaning of this relative majority? So, for instance, there are 100 votes in a particular constituency. There are 100 votes. Now, out of this 100 votes, the A party has gotten around 20 seats. B party has gotten around 21 seats. C party has gotten around 22 seats. D party has gotten around 23 seats and D party has gotten around 15 seats. So based on first past the post system, who will get elected? D. The person D will get elected based on first past the post system. Now even though out of these 100 votes, what is the majority? 51, right? 51 is the actual majority, right? So even though we have the majority, the absolute majority required is 51, the person who is getting the relative majority, the person who is getting the most number of votes will get elected via first past the post system. Okay, that is it is in the name itself, right? Whoever is crossing the line first, whoever is getting the majority will get elected via first past the post system. Now, in case of proportional representation, a person, if he wants to get elected, he has to get a quota of votes. He has to get a quota of votes. Now, mind you, quota of votes is not absolute majority. It is not absolute majority. This is different. Quota of votes is different from absolute majority. Keep that in mind. Quota of votes is completely different from absolute majority. Okay. Now, what is this quota of votes? What is this quota of vote? What is this quota of vote? See, according to quota of vote, what will happen? Okay. So, according to this quota of vote, this formula will be followed. This formula will be followed. Total number of seats, the total number of votes pooled divided by members, total number of members to be elected plus 1 and then plus 1. Okay, this is the quota, this is the formula required for quota of vote. Okay, total number of votes pooled divided by total number of members to be elected plus 1, and then we have to add for the whole number itself. Okay, for example, I will give you one example. For example, this is a particular state. This is a particular state E. This is a particular state A. Now this state A has to send. This state A has to send one member. This state A has to send one member. Now this state A has around 100 voters. This state A has to send 100 voters. Okay. Now what is the quota of vote required for the state A for a member to get elected? 100 divided by 1 member plus 1 plus 1. So what is the quota of vote required here? 51 votes. So if a member wants to get elected, he should obtain 51 votes. But out of these 100 voters, the state A will send 2 members. The state A will send 2 members. Now in that case, what is the quota of vote? 100 divided by 2 plus 1 plus 1. So what is the vote required here? Around 34. If A is sending 3 members, what is the procedure here? What is the quota of vote? 100 divided by 3 plus 1, which is equivalent to 26. Okay, so this quota of vote will change depending upon the number of members that is to be sent. This quota of vote will change. It will change depending on the number of members that are getting elected. The number of members getting elected. Okay, this is not absolute majority. This quota of vote, many of the people will confuse this quota of vote to absolute majority. Quota of vote is not absolute majority. As long as if a person is getting this amount of quota, he will get elected. Okay, so out of these 100 voters, if A has to send 3 members, if a person is getting 26 votes, he will get elected. Okay, so this is the criteria here. This is called as quota of vote. Okay. Now, so far I explained first past the post system as well as proportional representation system, right? Now first let's discuss what are the disadvantages of first past the post system. What are the disadvantages of first past the post system? See here everyone, if this is a particular village, In this village we have 100 votes. In this village we have 100 votes. Okay. Now out in this village we have 4 communities. In this village we have 4 communities: A, B, C, and D. Okay, we have 4 communities. Now out of these 4 communities, A has around 20 members, B has around 15 members, C has around 30 members, and then give me a moment here. D has around 35 members. Okay, so out of in this village, this is the division of voters. Okay, A community has 20 members, B community has 15 members, C community has 35 members. Now, if we are assuming that the members of every community are voting for their community candidate, what will happen? D will get elected. D will get elected. Okay, D will get elected. Okay. Now, do you think B will get elected? Do you think B will get elected in any case? If a member from B is standing in election, do you think he will get elected in any case? He will not get elected, right? He will not get elected, right? Even though D is enjoying only 35% of the vote, even though D is enjoying 35% of the vote, the person from community D will rule over all the other communities. Okay, so that's a major disadvantage with first past the post system. Okay, so that is a major disadvantage with first past the post system in India, because in India, if you look at higher caste, OBCs, and then scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, if you look at the division of voters between higher caste, OBCs, and scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, most of the voter in most of the constituencies, scheduled caste as well as scheduled tribes will be in minority. They will be in minority. Now the same applies for Muslim candidates as well. Muslim candidates, they will be minority in most of the constituencies in India. Okay, so that is the first disadvantage with first past the post system. This is against first past the post system is against the interest of against the representation of minorities. It is against the representation of minorities. And the second disadvantage with first past the post system is that, see here, now out of these 100 votes, only 35 votes are getting mattered. Out of these 100 votes, 35 votes only matter. Now the rest 65 votes, they are getting wasted. They are getting wasted. So that is another disadvantage with first past the post system. It results in wastefulness of votes. Okay, now another main disadvantage with first past the post system is that we are giving representation. To elected member, but that representation is not representing majority of people. He is not representing majority of people. Okay, even though he is getting represented on the behalf of the entire village. Okay, this person, a person coming from D, assume this person X, even though this person X is elected by this community, he has to rule over all the other communities. So even though this person A is getting represented by this village, he is not actually representing all of people, because majority of the people did not vote for this person X. That is the one. These are the three disadvantages with first past the post system. Okay. Now, what are the advantages here? Now, if you look at the advantages are very, very, very simple. Okay. The main reason why we adopted first past the post system is that it is very easy to understand. Okay. If you are using proportional representation or not, it will be very, very difficult for Indians to understand, because at the time of 1951, the time when the first general election was held, Indian literacy rate was around 15%. The literacy rate was around 15%. Overwhelming majority of the population cannot read or write. If overwhelming majority of the population cannot read and write, do you think we have to go and explain how proportional representation works to each and every voter in India? Is it possible? It is not possible. So that's why first past the post system was adopted. That's the main reason why it was adopted, because it is very easy to understand. The main reason being, if a person walks into electoral booth, he will see electoral machine, he will see EVM machines, and he will look at his candidate and he will vote for his candidate. It is as simple as that. Okay, he will vote for a candidate which whomever he likes. But in case of proportional representations, based on a type of proportional representation, he has to mark his preference and he has to mark his candidates, all these things. It is very cumbersome. Proportional representation is very cumbersome compared to first past the post system. First past the post system, it is very easy to understand. The next one is, it is very cost efficient. It is very cost efficient. First past the post system is very cost efficient. Okay. Okay, everyone. If you have any doubts, please ask your doubts right now. Please ask your doubts right now. That's it. Okay. In the next class, we will discuss different types of proportional representation system. Okay. In the next class, we will discuss the different types of proportional representation system. Okay. There are two different broad types of proportional representation system called as list system and then single transferable vote. In next class, we will discuss the differences between list system and single transferable vote, and also we will discuss what are the disadvantages of proportional representation system. Okay, we will discuss in depth. Okay, and we will compare how proportional representation system works versus FTFP, and we will also analyze whether we can adopt proportional representation system for India. Okay, we can discuss that. Okay, so that's it for today's class, everyone. We have completed today's class. So if you have any doubts so far, please ask your doubts. Please ask your doubts. Please, everyone, if you have any doubts, please ask your doubts right now. Okay. Okay, everyone, I have given an ample amount of time to ask your doubts. Since you guys are not asking doubts, I'm